Is it on?
Yep.
First off, I'm going to stand for this presentation. And second, I'm going to use note cards. So stay with me. I'll be explaining a little bit slower. I hope you get something out of this. Sometimes we do things that are greater than ourselves. To present this, I believe, is greater than myself. My name is Scott Schrader. I'm 34 years old. I've been attending pro since 2011. I have an illness. Throughout my life, I've had ADD and hearing impairment. I was first diagnosed just before I was 16. I was hospitalized several times. I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. It took a long time to get comfortable with myself again. I was classified as bipolar in my mid-20s during a hospitalization when I attempted suicide. Schizophrenia seems out there, but bipolar makes me feel like more of a human being. I was hospitalized 10 times from the age of 16 to 26. When I was a child, I was given a hearing impaired lady teacher who sat in my classes and totally made me distant and different. She was there from first grade up until my senior year. She went to my classes. It was embarrassing. I was placed in special education my entire schooling. I hung around with a lot of kids but didn't have really any close friends. When I was very young, I knew I was very powerful. I really turned things around when I started doing sports. I got into soccer when I was in second grade. I excelled in sports as a child. I joined Taekwondo when I was 8 years old, and I went all across the country. I was a national and junior Olympic champion 3 years in a row. My father was always there for me. He took me to all my classes and tournaments. We traveled as a family to all my tournaments. I stopped Taekwondo when I was 12 years old. Then I went to play sports in school. Throughout high school, I did soccer, track and field, wrestling, and volleyball. Just before I turned 17, I came down with schizophrenia. Prior to coming down with schizophrenia, I felt depressed. So the doctor put me on an antidepressant. It was called Effexor. I took more than prescribed. I took it so I could talk better. I don't know if I did, but it totally shut down my thought process. I went to a hospital twice that year. I was able to graduate with my class though. After I started at Walmart, it lasted about 2 years at Walmart. I had a lot of ups and downs. I moved to Arizona at a stable time in my life. I was there for half a year. The new medicine I took when I was down there made me relapse. After high school, there wasn't a time when I didn't work. I worked several jobs for ranging from 6 months to about a year. I went to college putting up decent grades. I graduated with a B average. I played soccer 3 years in 3 years that I was there. For most of my time in school, I was stable. Then I was put on Abilify. I had no plans of giving up. Abilify was like Adderall. Abilify is like Adderall. It made me rational and assertive strongly like a woman. I stopped before it did any damage. After college, I went on to do a distribution center. I held my own, though I wasn't taking my medication the way I should have. I remember one day I was working, I just snapped. I figured once in jail, I'd get recruited, and I'd be like Rambo, far away from society. I was in jail for almost 2 weeks. I was on medication when I was in jail, but I still had my own mind and I was stable. I thought if prison didn't work, I could stay at a hospital for the rest of my life. When they let me out of jail, I came to my senses. Now I take my medicine the way I'm supposed to. That's when I started coming to pros. I've been stable with my medicine, and I've been at pros for almost 8 years, about 8 years, a little over. I like school and I like pros. It has everything I need. In the summer, I water the plants every morning. I always make it to my classes every day on time. Prose makes me feel like a part of a community, like a part of a community. I like knowing people. I like saying hi to people and having people saying hi to me. You know, I like being friendly. Recently, I've had opportunity of leading a couple classes in prose. It's going really good. Right after this presentation, I'm teaching one of the classes. So right after this, I'm going to a class that I'm teaching. I'm always growing and I'm always finding my way in this world. Over the years, I've had several concussions, walking away from all of them. I've been jumped once, which I got up in less than a second, as natural as anything. My ski accident, I was going down the mountain about 30 miles per hour. My friend said we were gonna meet each other at the end of the. It was called Ace of Spades. We went down, we were maybe 100 yards up, and we just agreed on that we'd meet at Ace of Spades. And there's an underpassing that had moguls on it, and I was riding down the trail about 30 miles per hour. I was pretty booking, and it was dark, and there was moguls on the passing going up to the other trail, and I went out of control, and I was like a hammer to a nail. I wound it up. I just landed right in my head, and my friend said that we meet down there on the trail, and that's about it for that. I landed square in my head, and I got up as natural as anything. I walked into the light and waited 10 minutes for my friends to appear. You know how kids are, they're dilly-dallying. At this time, I had a tough time walking with my snow boots on anyway. So I fell, and I got up, and there was like a light in the trail, a little light, and I had a hard time walking in boots in the first place because my first year doing it. But that 20 feet that I walked, it was natural. It was like I had heavy feet. I could walk in them, but back then a little bit, like I said, that I wasn't able to walk too good in them to begin with because it was my first year. So, I did really good with that. You can say that I had brains, and I'm a good athlete, but I got brains too. A lot of people don't have that. When I was a sophomore in high school, I did track and field. It was a platoon conference, and I was the last race of the event. I ran the mile in less than 5 minutes, beating my competitors by 200 yards. It was tight, but we won the conference that year. My graduation speech. The one thing I wish I could change about my graduation speech, I wish I said thank you to Landmark for sticking with me. I would thank the librarians who helped me on the computer while I was there. To tell you the truth, before I did my speech in college, my graduation speech, I wasn't planning on saying anything. I was just planning on going up, getting my diploma, and sitting back down. But I preached about a lot of stuff, about a lot of unknown stuff, I wish that. I just wish that. I just wish I would say thank you to the librarians and thank you for Landmark for sticking with me and allowing me to do what I do and graduate. And all right, somehow it all came out good. It was difficult. It might have been difficult to understand, but it was for people to take what they wanted out of it, and it could be like an extra leap for language. like using the alphabet, explaining the unknown. I mean, what I said, I meant for you to take what you wanted from it. You know, it wasn't to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Landmark. Thanks this, thanks that. And tell like a little story to go with it. And it was sort of like straight, and you got whatever you got whatever you wanted to get out of it. The importance of taking medicine with an illness. Ever since I was in third grade, I've had to take medicine. In the sixth grade, I made the honor roll, but sadly stopped taking my medicine because I thought it would harm me. I can remember running in the gym when I got spots all over my face. Because for 1 year when I was in school, I lost about 100 pounds, literally. And I took a lot of Ritalin, you know, and when I was in the gym, we were doing like a mile run in the gym for a gym class, and I had these spots all over my face. It was pretty serious, and I could have died, truthfully. And Adderall made me creative, reading Plato and other philosophies, which wasn't me. The overdose of Effexor made my illness happen in the first place. Over the years since I've had an illness, I've had many medications: Haldol, Seroquel, Zyprexa, lithium, Clozaril, Abilify, Effexor, Getadon, Risperidol, Ritalin, Adderall, just to name a few. So stability is the key with an illness. And that's all I got from my note cards. Thank you, everybody. I want to finish with a song that me and Brian were working on. It's Led Zeppelin, All My Love. And it really, I can relate to it. You know, it's a beautiful song, you know, and it's just as beautiful in the words that it is in the music and the.
Should I fall out of love more far in the night to chase a feather in the wind? Within the glow that weaves a cloak of delight, that moves a thread that has no end. For many hours and days that pass ever soon, the tides of course that flame to dim. At last the arm is straight, the hand to the loom. Is this the end or just begin? All of